Hi guys, welcome to Angular session again. So in the last session, what we have done is, so I have shown you how to create a application from scratch using the ng new command, right? Okay, so ng new command we have used and we have created the application. Then once we created the application, we have loaded application into our IDE using the Visual Studio Code. Then we have explained what are the basic folder structure here, and node modules is nothing but a library folder of Angular. And what is the SRC? Our SRC will have our source code what we are going to write for project. And then the another important file is angular.json. Why it is important? It has the starting point and ending point, how the application should work, everything it Angular JSON file. So inside the angular.json, what we have seen in the last class, the main thing is which is the starting HTML. So here we are giving index. So the index.html is our starting point. And what is the starting point of our Angular class? Main.ts, and main.ts only it will start from the scratch. And how, if you want to add any bootstrap styling, where we have to add in the styles, we have to add the bootstrap CSS. Suppose if you are using PrimeNG or Phantasm, where we have to add here. And then we have gone to the package.json. So package.json is nothing but list of libraries which we are going to use in our project. So there are two type of dependencies here. One is dependencies, another is dev dependencies. So the difference between dependencies and dev dependencies, dependencies will be used by project at runtime also, but dev dependencies, these libraries required only when we are running in our local. That means when we are trying to use npm start or ngserve, that time only it is required, and before building the project only these dependencies are required. Once we build the project and if we are giving our application to customer, then that time this is not at all required. Only these libraries should be enough. So when we are adding any library, you just need to think whether this library is going to use by runtime or only development purpose. So if it is a development purpose, you can add it in the dev dependencies here, or if it is you can add it in the dependencies. And even we no need to do this work. And how we can do that is just type npm install, and whatever the, suppose if you want to install bootstrap, what we can do, just let me go to terminal and npm install bootstrap, right? Whatever the framework we want to install, and we can just install using the like this. So what will happen, it will install this library into our project. And what it will do again, this name will be added to the package.json automatically by the this terminal. Okay, the Angular will be adding by default this project as a like this model into our dependencies automatically. So if you want to do it manually, we can do it, and if the compiler are like, we can give Angular to install also. So both ways are possible. So that is we have seen in the last. And apart from that, uh, so in Angular, where is our starting point? We have to go to main.ts. So where is that main.ts? Here it is there. And only why main.ts means we have in the angular.json, we are saying this is our first ts file which we are going to use it, right? So that's why we will be using main.ts. So and we have the main.ts now. And in the main.ts, what we are trying to say here is we want to bootstrap the, like this is not a bootstrap framework, just don't think this is a bootstrap, means it is like a starting point in the here it means it is a starting point of the application. So here we want to use app model, and where is this app model is coming from? Here it is coming from app underscore model. So I'm just going here. So we have the app model here, and every project will have a one module or a two or three modules also they can have it. If you have more number of pages, more number of modules in the project, what they will do is they will try to create a different modules for each module based on their project. So don't think we will have only one module in our project, but in the project we may have more than one module also. But if we have more than one module also, only one module can be at a starting point. So that will be like a app module. Even if you go to the like customer projects also, mostly this name will not be changed, they will not be changed, or they will change it to their project requirement. So mostly it will be like app module, or if suppose if they are working for some project, they will call it as a some stocks mod, stocks app module. So this is a starting point. In the starting point we have seen what is this declarations. These declarations are nothing but we are creating Angular components. Okay, and how we are creating Angular components, we can create two ways, either using the ng generate and component and component name. Okay, component test, if you are giving this, it will create automatically. And what it will do, once it will create automatically this component, it will add this component to this declarations also, right? It will add this component to this declarations also. So suppose if you want to create a manually this component, whether it's possible or not, it is definitely possible. We can also create the component manually also. So how we can create it directly, we can like here we can create a folder and we can create all three files, and we can copy the class name and we need to declare here. So that is also possible. If you want, we will do one sample in the last. Okay, and so here the declarations what we are trying to do is, we have created Angular component. Suppose here we have plans and my plans and update, something like we have three components. For each one is one component. So what we want to try here is, whenever we are clicking this, Angular want to load this component, right? How Angular knows this component? So that's the reason we want to tell Angular, hey Angular, this is my component. So I am registering with you. Whenever I'm calling this, like any I am clicking on update, you should load into the memory. Okay, that's why we are registering to the Angular. So what is happening, we are registering all our custom components which we are created so to the here. And once we are registered, that's okay. And even in the we have multiple components, right? Which is our starting component. So here they will define bootstrap, that is nothing but app component. If you go to the app component, we can see app component.html file, and it is very simple. Let's go there. What is there? What we will see? See, we have just app hyphen home, nothing else. We have just app hyphen home. How Angular identifies app hyphen home? Because already we have here app. If you go to home component, what is the selector name for this tag? We have given app hyphen home. So whenever we are trying to load app hyphen home, what it will do? First, Angular will go to the module file. Inside the module, we have registered all our components, right? For each component, it will try to get the selector, and by the time it will know which selector is responsible for which component. So if you are seeing app-home, it might know, okay, this app-home is responsible for home component. So it identifies in that way. App component. Now we have the app home component. So we will go to home component and we are opening home component. Inside the home, what we have? We have simply three things: app-header, app-footer, and router outlet, right? Only these three things we have, not more than that. And important point here is router outlet. Okay, let me see. So when we are created the last time project, we don't have the header and we don't have the footer also, right? We just having one plain page with the Angular default generated. So how we have added this header? We have gone to the Bootstrap CSS and we get the navbar for the Bootstrap. We have gone to the navbar and we have picked our whichever is appropriate for us, right? We have taken that navbar from the this Bootstrap and we have added, but it's like a first initial phase only, but we need to customize this based on customer requirement. But changing these things, styles and everything will be your HTML work only. There is nothing related to Angular. If you want to add some colors, if you want to increase font size or decrease font size, everything is related to the HTML and CSS only. There is nothing related to the Angular. So what Angular will do from here is like when we are clicking on anything, what component should be loaded, and when we are for any action and what it should be loaded. These things we should learn, like we should use the Angular components. So till this point we have seen in the last session, right? So we have recapped everything. Now what we will do now here is earlier we have given a link. When you are clicking, it is automatically showing that component. So I have asked you to just create so many links in the header and try to link all your work for each page, right? So that you might have done. Now what in this session what we will do is the most important things for us is in Angular, three things, right? Only the three things are uh, interactions. Okay, interactions, right? Interactions is nothing but when you click something and what should happen. So that is nothing but event binding. If this is a web application, if you have some good pages here, users will not see and will not go, right? They will click something and they will do something, they will do some actions in every web application. So what we need to do is we need to handle that and we need to see how it is goes. Okay, in this class what we will do is we will try to see how to handle the events in Angular. Okay, we'll see how to handle the events in the Angular and how to and property binding, and the next important thing is bindings, property bindings, very important, and this will be used for handling forms and data. Okay, and directives, structural directives and other directives. There are two type of directives are there. We will use the directives also. So we will in this class we will discuss about these things, and the next thing is uh, Angular routing. Angular routing. So we will see all these four today. If it's, we will see how to maintain a session, like how to add a login and log out for our application. We will see this also if time permits, but within this time we will try to see these things. Okay. So first we'll go to with the events, right? Event binding. Don't think the TypeScript is something different than the JavaScript. Whatever we are doing, right? That is we are doing in the JavaScript only. So what this TypeScript? Let us go to okay. Let us go to our first component. What is this? Okay, I will go to this pricing component, and already I told you I did not implement this. What I had done is I just gone to the Bootstrap examples and just downloaded this example here, and I'm just okay, I'm just displaying here. That's all. I did not implement this. Even there are some samples are over there, but if you want to try to start, you can try to see these examples how they are working also, and you can start with that. And we'll address the some question also, like how to write the JavaScript code here. And let me okay, first let us click on the either so we have three elements here. The customer, like either user want to sign up, because I don't have the sign up form, I did not implement it. So I will just write whenever we are clicking it, we want to say, so in the JavaScript, you might have known alerts. The type, there are three type of alerts are there. And if you give just alert, it will pop up saying whatever you are saying, it will just pop up. But we will implement the real content in the last, like you will implement the real content, but while I am giving example, I will just pop up a alert. Okay, so let me go to the plans pricing, right? Okay, close others, file, save as, close others. Okay, so and here in each component we have three files mostly, and we don't require this spec.ts file. And these three files are TS file, SAS file, and HTML file, right? HTML file, you will write all the HTML codes don't mix your CSS styles here using the header tags. Like usually there will be like head tag, and inside the head tag they can write the CSS, but don't include your CSS files, CSS classes inside the head. Instead of go to your SAS file and implement these classes into the SAS file only. So the main idea here is we want to separate out our HTML content with the style content, and HTML content with the main logic what we are going to write it. The main separation is the important thing. That's why we have three files here. So if you want to write any classes or something, go here and write your own class using CSS and use that class name here. Now like here we have a sign up for free is there. So it is a just a button, and we can see. So here we have a button. So now what we want to write is whenever we are clicking it, we want to redirect, either we want to redirect to sign up form, or since we don't have the sign up form, what we want to do is we'll just print a alert saying yes, successfully signed. Okay, sign up. But you need to implement how like sign up form you need to implement, but for now we will see. So in Angular, if you want to handle any event, like any event, so in JavaScript what you will write is on click, you will write on click something, but in the Angular you don't need to write on click something. So whatever the one you want to write, I want to handle only click event. Okay, just type click. So here the main important point here is you want to handle events means you need to give this brackets. Okay, not the array brackets, you want to give this bracket. So what it means is we want to handle this event, and whenever I want to handle this event, what method should execute, that one you should give in the right side, right? So here I'm explaining again, this click is nothing but your click, like whatever the events. Okay, if you go to the W3 schools, right, and HTML events, if you type, so you will get the all the events, what are the events are available there. Okay, on unload, on resize, on page show, and on click, all these things will be there, but we no need to see on blur, on change, on focus, on input. If you are writing plain HTML or a JavaScript code, you have to use on key down, on key press, something like that you have to use. But in the Angular, you no need to write something like this on click. Just remove the on and just write the whatever the event name, that's all. Okay, I want to handle the click event here. So what is the event I should write? Click. Suppose if I want to go for a mouse hover or something, mouse mover, mouse up or mouse wheel. So how I should write? Mouse wheel, not the on mouse wheel, right? Okay. Now what I want to do is whenever I'm clicking it, I want to execute a method for sign up process. Okay, I will say sign up and write the method name. So by default, it will try to give the error saying this method not available, because what it means is the sign up by default, this HTML will be binding to which component, this pricing.ts file. Okay, whatever the method we are trying to use here, it will try to look in the pricing.ts file. So here you check, is there any method called sign up? No, right? No method we have written here. So that's why it is compare, it is showing an error. So what I'm trying to do is I will try to implement this method in the TS file. So how to write a method in TS file? Like if you are a JavaScript already, if you are known, it is very simple. For method, just write the method name. Okay, just write the method name and brackets. Okay, and open bracket and close bracket. So it is like a method, and every method might have a return type, but it is not a mandatory. So this is your method, and make sure the you are writing inside a class file only. So in the last class I have told you what is TypeScript, like a class. After a class, whatever it is there, it's a class name. Okay, and just forget about it, I will explain it later. So we have a class and we have bracket. So whatever you are writing inside this content, it all belongs to which component? This class only. Okay, whatever we are writing inside this, it will belongs to this class only. Suppose if I am writing outside, and you can think, sir, I am writing the my method inside the this file only, but why it is not taking, means why it is not taking, it is not inside part of a this class. So where it is part of this class means from this bracket to this bracket only. So make sure that you are writing those inside the class only. And sometimes what the people will do is they will write this method inside some another method, something like this. Don't do it. It is also like a method, you should write outside of the other method. So whenever you are writing any method, you need to check. First thing is whether this method I am writing inside the class only or not. Second, I am writing outside of the any other methods or not. Okay, these 2 points you need to check it. So with this we have done, like I have written a method. So just tell me whether it's difficult to write method or not. Okay, it is very easy. Just type whatever the name you want to give and just open bracket and close bracket. And if you want to see the output in the console, suppose here you want to see output, like we can write, there is a console statement, console. So later it will be useful for your debug purpose. So I am just introducing over here, and sign up method called, it will be like these console statements are useful for debug purpose. Don't write, don't commit this code to your final code. So whenever you are committing final code, like means whenever you are done with the implementation, you are giving this code to either your manager or your team. So remove all the console statements. In the final code, console statement should not be there. Only this console statement should be there only in the development purpose, because we want to know what is happening in the development. But once we know, like once we have implemented everything, we don't want to have this console statements inside our class. Okay, and how to write a JavaScript code, right? I want to call a suppose document dot element get element, something like that, right? You can write plainly here something, document dot get element by id. You can write all your JavaScript code inside the TS file directly. There is no restriction at all. Okay, whatever the code you want to write it, you can write it in the TS file. I will write now alert. So why I'm giving just saying sign up is successful. Sign up successful. Okay. Okay. I'm just adding this message and let us save all this and go to our pricing component, right? Okay. When I'm clicking it, we are getting the sign up is successful, right? So this is nothing I didn't write. This is not an Angular code. Whatever you are writing in the TS file, it is a JavaScript code only. The only thing is it is syntactically different. Only syntactically difference. In JavaScript, you will not have a classes and methods, but in the TypeScript, you will have a classes and methods. And if you see that this code, the finally it will convert into JavaScript only. Like if someone is asking how TypeScript is changing, how TypeScript is working in the web, means you have to say once we compile the code and once we build the code, all these TypeScript files will be converted into JavaScript only. So finally we are delivering JavaScript code only to the browser. So this all, like whatever we are seeing, it is like a IDE feature to implement the code faster. That's why this TypeScript framework is came. Finally these TypeScript files will be converted into JavaScript only, right? So with this point, and we will see again, like see there is a how to handle the events. Just see, we want to see click event, and for this click event we are giving the name. So where this method should be there, inside your TS file, inside your TS file, right? I have my TS file, I have written some code. Any another form, something if you have another form you want to show it, we can redirect our request to the other like suppose whenever we are clicking this, we have another HTML for the sign up form. So where we can redirect our page to another page. So that those redirections will be, I will be explaining in the last. Angular, in the Angular routing, in the whenever we are coming for Angular routing, I will explain how to reroute. Like whenever we are clicking, we want to go to another page. So simple things, but I will discuss it in the end. Okay, so now click event is done, right? Now what I want to do is I want to write some simple a input tag, like where you can see, right, where what will happen? Suppose I want to see a contact us form, something like that. I'm taking some examples website here, and that is not at all okay. Where we want to contact us. Okay, okay. This is just take it as an example. Here I have a name and email, and once they click submit, and this data will go to the respective server. Okay, and we want to just add a same something, only name for alone, not other things. So we will add it name, and whatever we are typing here, we want to get it. So how to get that? So this will give you idea how to handle the keyboard events. Right here we have on key down, on key press, on key up. These three events we have, and we will see how to use them in our application. Okay, and whatever the code I'm going to write it, everyone already you might have known that code. Okay, how to write an input tag, just input, right? And so if you want see some good inputs, just go to documentation and components, bootstrap. So there will be forms. Okay, and just get any forms. I want to get the forms. I'm just taking a ready-made example here. So I'm just copying the content. Let me go to paste it here. Okay, file, save all. Okay, and now we'll go to our application. See, okay, whenever I'm in the my plants, so we have the email and password, and these text boxes are came. So and we have the submit button also. But the page is it is taking full width. So we have reduced this one to some small, but you are not here. Our concentration is how to implement this, not this HTML. Our concentration is how to add, like I want to type something. I want to display that information, whatever I'm typing here, I want to display in the bottom. Suppose here, whatever I'm typing in this component, I want to display in the bottom, so that you can learn like keyboard events. Like whenever they're typing something, we want to display the, like earlier we have seen the click events, but now what we want to see is we want to see the keyboard events. So that's why I'm just taking this example, and let me go here. Okay, and type is email. I'll say text. Okay, so what do you want is here we have a input tag, right? We have a input tag. So for this input tag, we want to handle the events. So what you for input tag, what events we will get it? We will get either key down or a key up. So right, if you are not sure, just go here and we can see we have a key down. That means whenever we are pressing down, that is a down. Whenever we are releasing, it is a up. When we are press and it is in the progress, it is like a, it is total, it's like a key press. So we will handle the either key down you can handle or key up you can handle. Okay, and the key up, we will handle the key up. Okay, how to write the events? Just brackets. Okay, then you need to type your event, which event you are going to handle. So I'm going to select the key down. Okay, so once key down is there, okay, and what I want to know is whatever they are typing, I just want to get the value, right? Okay, so whatever they want to get, they are typing, we want to get the value, and we will see on key. Okay, I will type handle key down event. Okay, mostly in our like the real time, what they will try to do is whatever the event they are saying, they either they will write handle event name or on key down event, something they will prefix with either handle or on. So I'm just going with the handle key event here, and like whenever they're pressing it, we want to get the value, right? So we will press dollar event. Okay, the dollar event is a very special one. What it will give you is whatever the event they are doing, that event value we will get it as a argument. So to get that argument, what is the name we have to give? Dollar event. So the dollar event means, suppose if it is a click event, what it will come? Like click event it will come. If it is a key down event, the event will be key down event. So if you want to get a dynamic, you just add a dollar event. Don't change this name. If you are changing this name, it will not work. It has to be dollar event only. Okay, I'm just writing. Okay, let it. I have written. Okay, I have the event. So here any colon after colon whatever I'm giving, that means it is a type only. If you are like the types, you can give either boolean or a number, string, anything you can give, or without type also it is, we can have it. Since it is just saying event is declared but is never, okay, we will use it. Console dot log event. Okay, for now we will just write it as a console.log and we will see what is the value. Okay, so what we have done here is very simple. We are trying to handle the key down event and we are handling whatever the value, we are handling this event into this method, and let us see what is happening. And I'm just saving it. Okay, and once we are saving it, just go to your class and inspect. So to see consoles, just inspect and let me show it in the right side. Okay, select the console here. Okay, I'm typing ABC. Okay, so see, whenever I'm typing some character, we are printing the value in the right side or not. Okay, the input value, and this is like a, since we are typing keyboard event, the what event it is coming, keyboard event. So in the inside the event, somewhere our value will be there, and take whatever the key we have pressed, like in the last we have pressed D, that's why it is coming as a D. Okay, you see, like whatever I'm going to press F, and you can see in the last the key it will be like a F. So what we want to learn here is how to handle the keyboard events. That's all. Like how we will use this value is, I will just tell you in the property binding. Even you can use the direct dot key also you can use. Okay, dot key event dot key means, okay, if you want to print only event dot value, we can just print event dot key. So what it will print only whatever the key we are pressing it, it will just, okay, see, we have typed test and it is coming one time. Okay, so this is how you can handle these events. And even here also in submit, you can we can write a click event and we can handle it. But let us focus on the ABC. Okay, so here we have type ABC, but here it's coming as one time A, another time B, another time C. So, but we want, what we want is we want to get the total value and I want to display in the bottom. Suppose my email address is abc@gmail.com. So I want to do whatever the value they have given, we want to display in the bottom. But if you're handling the key down events, what is happening is each character we are getting, but the total value we want to get it and display it here. For that purpose, what we will do is we will go to the next concept called property bindings. Okay, there are three type of bindings are there. We will go to there and we will explain how to bind these things into one. So we have seen the event binding, right? And so we have seen the event bindings. So how to handle the events, either click event or key down event or mouse event, whatever event we want to see, we can write it. And suppose we want to focus something, mouse focus something, we can write it. But you can just whenever you want to focus, you want to do something, you can take the focus method. So try to explore like what are the events are there, and for each event you can write a some methods in the application. And we have handled the click event as well as the key down events for now. And next what we'll do is we want to show our data in this page. We want to show our data in this page. Okay, I will go to updates. Okay, here, right, what I'm going to do here is in the updates page, I don't have nothing here. Let me define something. Price, do you have updates tag? Okay, go to header, and for updates, do you have any link? For my plans, I have given this link. For updates, we don't have any, we did not give any link for updates. So what I will do is I will create a, either we can create a component or we can okay, so instead of creating again, I will reuse this page itself. my plans itself I will reuse it. So what I am going to do is so whenever we are releasing some softwares, all the whatever the content it is there, right, it will not be there in the HTML itself, right? We cannot suppose we have some 1,000 customers, so all the names will be there in the HTML or it will be there in the database. It will be there in the database only, not in the HTML, not in the TS file, right? It will not be there. All your customer names and your data will be where it will be there. It will be there in the database. So I want to show the data into the here. How it will come? So we should write some code. From TS file to server. Okay, hey server, I want to get the customer details. I want to get the customer details. So what will happen is Angular will request the data to server for the customer details. So now what is happening? Server will return back with the data. Server will return back with the customers, either customers, whatever the data, server will give you the data. So once we get the data from server, we want to present the data in the view page. So view is nothing but our HTML page. So what our job is, what our UI developers job is, the server team will write the code and they will store the customers. They will like they will give you the details how to fetch the customer details. And what our job is, we want to use that either now we have a REST API. Okay, REST, there is a concept called REST API. So we want to suppose we want to get the customers. There will be a method called get customers REST API. So we have to call this method. When we are calling this REST API, we will get the customers data in a JSON form. Okay, how the JSON form will be there in the key and value pairs. So in the key and value pairs, suppose this is like a customer 1 and customer 2, we will get as a array. So here we will get a customer 1, customer 1 and customer 2. Something it will go on. Have no idea about JSON structure, it is difficult, but in the JSON is nothing but it is a key and value pairs. They can have a array also. Here we have an array. Inside the array we have two customers data. This is data will be written by server team. So we will handle all these things if you have the next session, or if this is the last session, maybe in the practicing programs only I can teach you that. But for now what we will think is, so we have called the our REST API and we have got the customer data, and now we want to show this information to the here. Okay, suppose they have a plans and they want to this customer has bought the this pro plan, and whenever he goes to my plan, he want to see what is the plan he has buy and where this information like what plan he bought, and all this information will be there in the database. Now this information will not be there with us in the HTML. Just to hard code like okay, go to my plans and say you are using pro plan. Okay, we cannot code like that because this data is not there with us. It is there where this data is there. It is there in the database. So we should not write this code in the HTML, and we cannot because we don't know this name and like what the plan. So for this one, what we'll do is okay, go to your TS file. I'm going my TS file and I will write code like get customer plan name, some method. Okay, so here what it will do is, suppose we are writing all REST API code, to get the plan details. Since we don't know how to write the REST API details, what I'm doing is I'm returning he's using pro plan. Okay, he's using pro plan. Okay, so we have ready with our REST API code. So what is the plan I'm using? Pro. Think like this piece of code is returning from the server. This piece of code is returning from the server, and we want to display this information into the UI. Okay, we want to display this information to the UI. How we want to display? Because the data is available in the TS file, but we want to present in the HTML. How we can do that? Okay, how we can do that? That is nothing but your property bindings. Okay, property binding. Okay, that comes under the binding concept. Okay, so now what we will do is we want to display the plan, right? Plan details. So for that one, what we'll do is we will just create a variable. Okay, plan details or selected plan, whatever. Okay, already in the last class I told you how to create a variable selected plan. Okay, so variable is nothing but just name and type. What is the type you want to define? That's all. Selected plan. Okay, we have a selected plan here. Okay, next what we want to do? We want to initialize this plan with the server data, right? Okay, what we'll do is on nginit we will call the this dot selected plan is equal to this dot get customer plan. Okay, okay, instead of like, even if you are getting confused what is this, I'll just comment it out, and before that I will say I am using a pro plan. It is just for example I'm giving, but in real time you should not hard code like this. Okay, I'm just okay selected plan. Now we want to use this variable inside our TS file. That's where you are coming under here. You'll just write a two flower brackets and two closing brackets. This is called a template. Okay, this is called we are calling it as a template. In HTML we are calling this as a Angular template. Okay, so in the Angular template you can write any variables which are available in the TS file, right? So this, where is this TS file is there? Like, where is this variable is there? This variable is available in the plan. So now we will just save our code and we'll see whether we are displaying the pro or not. See, you are using the pro plan. We are using the pro plan. So what I will do is I will change here to diamond something. I'm just giving example, and just to see whether this value is getting changed or not. This value is getting changed. Now what you have seen now? Earlier whenever I'm typing something here, whatever the value we are typing, the value is going to TS file using what how the value is going to TS file using the event binding, right? Using the event binding. We have seen key down. On the key down, what you have done, we are writing a method. So what is happening? Whatever the key we are typing, the value is going to TS file using the methods. Now what we are trying to do, whatever the value we have in the TS file, we want to in the HTML file, what we have done is we have some HTML elements, suppose some forms we have. This data, how we will get it to the TS file? Using the events, right? Using the events, we can get this data to TS file. And in the TS file, what we will write is we will write some methods. Okay, sign up, whatever the method we will write it this method, and this method we will get the value. And how we will get the value? Using the argument, right? Event. This name can be anything. So in this way we will get the data from HTML to TS. But we have some variable here. Suppose my plan is there, selected plan is there. Where it is there? It is there in the TS file. How this this plan will be displayed here? Using the templates, right? Using the templates. So how I can write my template? I can write flower brackets and my plan name, selected plan. And in the template, what else you can do? You can you can use variables. You can use variables and you can call any methods. You can call any methods. These two things you can use, you can done in the this templates, right? So we have seen there are two approaches for the binding. One is event binding, second is data binding, right? One is the event binding, second is data binding. We have seen these two approaches, and in the here, like, let me add div for this. We have seen these two approaches, but these two things are important only. The third one is very much important than the this one. Okay, the third one is very much important than the this one. Suppose here instead of email address, what I will say is this is my plan. Okay, and I will say this is my plan name. For demo purpose only I am doing plan name. Okay, and what we want to achieve now here is whatever the plan name I am typing pro, I want to reflect this name here. Whatever the name I am typing, suppose ABCD I am typing, that value I want to reflect it here, right? That one I want to do. And another thing is, whenever I'm reloading this page, see I have reloaded, whatever the value it is there, right, it is gone. Okay, it is gone. Suppose where this will be useful, like you can ask this question, where this will be useful, sir. Okay, suppose we have a user and we want to edit the username or his details. What will, whenever he's clicking on edit details, will show only empty details, or we will fill with the whatever the details he has given. We will fill with the whatever the details he has given, we will fill with the data. Then only he will just go and type something and he will get the data. Otherwise, whether you want to do it from scratch, it will be difficult for him and he won't be interested in that. So what we want to achieve here is, we want to do two things. Okay, we want to do two things. First thing is retain the value whatever he typed. Okay, second thing is, whatever the value he's typing, we want to display in the bottom. Display value in the bottom. Okay, so these two things we want to do it. Okay, we want these two things we want to do it. So if you want to just display the value, what we can do, we can use the templates, right? If I want to display just what is the value they have selected, I can use the template value. So what is the value? Selected plan. Okay, selected plan I can display here. But whatever they are typing here, I want to get it here, means there is another concept called two-way binding. Okay, there is another concept called two-way binding. So let me show you how to do this. Okay, so instead I'm just removing this. Uh, Maybe I will add for this so that you'll have the code. So there is a concept called two-way binding. For two-way binding, you can write. Okay, so okay, before that going two-way binding, I'll just say one-way binding. So here I'm just adding a angular brackets, like this brackets, like it will be like an array brackets. So and here is equal to, what we will do is, we want to use the model name, whichever we want to, selected plan. Okay, selected plan, and there is a concept called ng model. Okay, so what we are trying to do is, we want to use the ng model binding to the selected plan, but it is reporting it does not know what it is ng model. So do you want to binding this one, what we have to do is, we have to install the, like if you go to the forms, let me go to the Angular app module component. So here we have imported only browser module from the Angular. There is another module called forms module. Okay, there is another module called forms module, where you have to import the into your project. Suppose if you are trying to use like this, and let us use it and get with the compile error. Okay, and it will get the error saying inspect. Okay, whatever we are typing, it is not at all respecting this one, and it is not at all changing. So install the forms model. There is a forms model. You can just type it in the Google, forms model. We want to import this forms model to our project so that this will work. And let me, I have another project with the running one. Let me just copy the syntax so it will be faster. See, there is a forms model, we are using it. Okay, let me copy this forms model and paste it in our app model. So whenever you are trying to use it, if it is not working, don't worry, you just need to import the forms model and type. Okay, so now save all and go to this component. This error should go. Let it. Okay. Cannot bind ng model since it is a non property. I'm just showing how to do this. It will only occur only once, like for the first time, and you just need to. The answer is init is the forms import Angular. That's all. If you are using that, then it will work fine. And there is just using the reactive form module also. So whoever like it will occur only for the first time when your project is setting up. Like once you have your project is everything is ready, already they will add all these required modules from the Angular, whatever the project. Already, suppose if you have taken this example, whatever the modules it is required this project, already we have added in this module, and only what is your job is just going there and doing the things whatever it is required for us. That's all. We no need to do from the scratch. Only these things will happen when we are doing implementing from the scratch. It's not from the okay. It will not happen when you are already working on the existing project. And I will use a hash. And what is this plan name? So just think plan name dot value. Let me save. This I'm just writing hash, right? Don't think what is this hash and these things. It is nothing but you can define a variable in the HTML itself. So to define the variable in the HTML, what you need to do is you just place with a hash. So what it will happen is, suppose if this is an input element, this input element will be using this plan name. So using this variable, we can use this input element name. And if you want to handle this in the keyboard, something like that, let me add it. Okay. And I want to give plan name dot value. Go here and type value. This dot selected plan is equal to value. Okay, now our application is up. Let us go to my plans. Okay. So here I'm typing pro plan. So see, whatever I'm typing here, it is getting changed, right? And there is a problem here. I'm typing whatever the last character, it is not happening here, right? See, I'm just 1, 2, 3. The 3 is not coming here. The, the reason is we are using the, you have to see the reason is key down event. So whenever I am typing key down, only that time only event is going. Instead of do that, you can do key up or a you can use key up or a key press event, or even you can use the input event. So input event is referring for whatever the like whenever you are typing something, it will be calling that method. Okay, now see the I'm just changing the event name alone. So here you can either use key up or a key press instead of key down. So what is happening? Key down means, so now see whatever the value we are typing here and it is printing in the, okay, and we are removing also. So for this one we should use key app or a input event. So this, what is this input event means? This is like a input event. Whatever you are typing it, that's a, it will take it as a input event. So either you can use input or a key up event. Key up event or key press. If you want to see with the key up, we can see test 234. So with the key up also it will works fine, and don't confuse yourself why key down is not working, because whenever we are downing only we are calling this method and we are updating the value, but like after typing only we'll get this value. That's why key down will always will have a one lesser value when you're using a key down. So always try to use the either key up or a input event. Anything is fine, but our main problem does not solve here. We are able to achieve this one using the, like this is a key using the input event. We are trying to get the value. So what we are trying to do here is we are getting the value and we are initializing in the selected plan. But what is happening? But we are not able to retain the value. So our original problems is still there. So what is our original problem? We want to retain the forms value. So whenever I'm reloading it, I want to get this value. For this value, we need to have the this Angular forms. Just need to see why this is not working. Import registration. Okay, and go to again. Let's give another try where this model is coming from. Forms model. It is coming from Angular forms only. Okay, that is correct. Did I say something wrong here? Okay, I'm just removing everything else. Let me just have with this approach. File, save all, latest. So in the selected plan, we have diamond, so it should come as a diamond. Put. Okay. So there is a clearly something wrong with this NG model with this current project. I'll just check it out why this NG model is currently not working as our expectation. Okay, and let me just remove this and we'll do whatever the style we have done. And I will fix it for you. Don't worry why it is not working. And this is like just new setup. There should be problem with these imports. I don't want to waste the time to debug here and just waste your time. so that I will just fix it and I will give you the project working for you. Okay. Here what we are trying to do is we are using the like input tag. There is a property called value. So for that value, we are giving the value like whatever the value we have, right? Selected plan, we are giving that value to this attribute. So what is happening is whatever the value we are having, it will be initialized to this value property. So by default, what is the value we have given in the TS file? It's a diamond. So whenever we are loading this first time, it should come up with the call diamond value. Suppose there is something value is there, it should come up with the something different value. Okay, and so with this approach, we are first thing is we have written the value. How we have written the value? Using the binding, right? Using the one-way binding. That is nothing but a let me explain. These brackets are referring only the whatever the value is there in the right side, it will be stored into the this value. This is nothing but a property binding. But if you want to two-way binding, what we have to do is we need to write something like this. We have to write something like this, and we should write, usually what we will do is we will write a ng model like this and we will give the value. So whenever we are giving ng model value like this, it will work fine without any issues. But since this is a new project, I think seems I did not set up with any import statements here. That's why you are seeing some error, but I will fix it for you and will it give you. So with this, what we have seen now is we have seen three approaches. One is event binding, where we will type something, it will come here. Second is the templates, where we have the value in the TS file we are displaying in the HTML. Third is whenever we are typing something HTML, it will reflect in the dynamically. So here Diamond Pro. So whatever we are typing here, right, you are able to check it here. So whatever we are typing, it is reflecting in the both places. That is nothing but your two-way binding. So what we have done is we are initializing this value with selected plan. Same selected plan only we are showing. So with this approach, we can bind any properties in this class. And in the example, suppose here like in the form, we will not have only one property to bind it. We have two properties here. One is name, another is password. So how many properties we should have? Two properties to binding these two variables. If we have 10 variables, how many properties we should have? 10 variables. So such times what will happen is if you have 10 things like 10 variables. So what people usually will do is I want to just give this. So here we have 1 and 2, 3, 4 is there. How many variables we should have? 4 variables, right? But it is not recommended to have more than 1 or 2 variables like that. It is not recommended to have 4 variables and doing things. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to create for each form we have to create a class called model. Okay, a class called model. Okay, so what is this model? I will just explain here. This is your TypeScript file. Let me go to here and I will just give the sample. Okay, here what we have, only two names we have in our application. One is name, another is password. So suppose if you have 10, we have to create 10, right? Instead of that, what I am trying to do is I will create a class. Okay, I will create a class. How to create class? Class name. Okay, so this is a user form. Okay, user form model, or otherwise I can say user model. I can just like that. Okay, and this is not a component, it is just a class. If it is a component, we will write a at component annotation, but it is just our model. I can write it in the new file, but I'm just for time's sake, I'm just writing here. So how many variables I need to have? Two variables. One is username. Okay, username is string type. Another is password. Password also string type. Okay, so this username and password I have it. Okay, this TypeScript is giving just errors because it will not. Okay, so I have defined this variable. Now what I want to do is I want to use this to map with the our form. Like I have two things here, plan name, like it is a name and type. I want to map this my object to here. How to do that, right? That's what I'm going to show you. Okay, so what I will do is I will just say user. What is the type? It is user model. Okay, and the ng init, what I will do is this dot user is equal to new user. I'll write new user. This is how you can create a object for this user, right? And what I want to do is by default I want to add a values. This dot user dot username is equal to abc and password is this dot user dot password is equal to something uh, pvc. Okay, just I have written. So we have user and we have initialized it, but we want to map this user with the form. Okay, that is also simple. Just go here and remove this selected plan user dot username. Okay, and for the second thing, what we have to do is we have to go here and we have to type user dot password. Okay, so what this is like a binding only. Even you can do with a string variable, or you can do with the object also. Okay, you can do with the object also. Why I am showing here is in the examples in the project you will not have only one variable, so you will have more than one variable. Like you will not have only these two, you will have many variable, like many fields. When you have some many fields, don't take one variable for one field. That is not a good practice. What we want to do is we want to combine all these fields into a class. That's why we have written a, what is the class we have written? It is a user model. So okay, user model. So in the user model we have defined two variables, username, password. If you have 10 fields, we'll define 10 fields inside the model only. But overall, how many classes we have? Only one class with the 10 fields. That is a good approach only. So now what we will do is we have defined it, file, save all. Okay, so whenever we are coming it, see, right, what is the value we are giving in the forms? It is there abc. And what is the value here? We have it something, whatever we are typing something, it is there. It is available in the user model. So this is how you should bind your code into forms. Okay, whenever you are writing any forms, okay, how you have to define it? You have to define like this. You have to define for that object. First you need to create a class. Okay, first you need to create a class. You can have this name can be anything, so no need to define user or something, but always give a meaningful class name. If I am handling user related stuff, just give user. Suppose if I am giving contact something, like you just give a contact as model, something, whatever the related model you are giving, you give such related models. Okay, suppose if you are in the login model, so what is the name you should give? It is like a user form. And if you are this is a new form, so what you should give? You should give it as a registration form. Based on the form name you should give the model, and based on the fields, suppose here 1 2 3 4, I have 4 fields. How many fields I should create in my model? I should create 4 fields inside my model. That is based on your requirement. Okay, that is based on your requirement. So in my examples, Angular task, okay, I have given task, right, to you guys. So here the first thing is we have 2 fields here. So how many fields you should have? 2 fields. If you go to the next, and is there any other forms we have given? Form example. Okay, no other form examples. Okay, so the basic thing is how many fields you have in the UI. Those many fields you need to properties you need to create in the model, and that model you need to bind it to this class and initialize it and initialize some values. Suppose if this is a fresh user registration, don't initialize these values. We only initialize these values when we have to initialize it only for editing purpose, not for the fresh registration. I'm do it again. Okay, okay, we'll go to here. First thing is we are having a events, right? Okay, let us go to this plans page. So here we have a HTML content. Whenever we are clicking, we want to display something. So what we should use it? Event binding. Okay, what we should use event binding. So what we will do, we'll go to pricing component, we will write a event. What event we are going to handle? Click event. So how we will write a event? We'll write in the brackets, right? So inside the brackets, we will write it. On the right side, what we'll do? We will call a method where this method should be there. It should be there in the, this method should be there in where it should be there. It should be there in the TS file. So I have written in the TS file. So first, is that point clear? Next, we will go to how to go to the this key down or key up events. We will see that, right? So first we have seen here in the presentation, what I have seen is, so first we have like a button. When we're clicking it, we are calling some action. So using what action we have done? Using the events, right? Using the events. So how events are representing? It is representing in the brackets. Okay, in the brackets. And this click can be any key down event, key up event. It can be anything. No need to be click event only always. It can be key down, key up. And where we can get all these events, we can go to W3 Schools and we can see all these events for the HTML. Click event, double click event, mouse down event, all these events where we can see in the W3 Schools, we can see all this event. If you are already familiar, you can directly use it. So the next thing is, we want to use the whatever the typing I want to see, I want to see in the bottom. Okay, so for that one, what is, again I'm using the event only. Okay, again I'm using the event only. Okay, this is done. And the next thing is, I have some value in the TS file. Okay, I have some value in the where TS file. So this is like my plan. Where this value is coming from? The value will coming from server. Okay, the value will coming from the server, because my all my plan details will be there. Where it will be stored in? It will be stored in the database only. So these details where I will get the data means, I will get it from the server, and the plan will be coming from server. I am holding, I have that information in the here, where in the TS file. I want to display the selected plan in the HTML. How we will do it? Using the templates. Using the templates. So how we will write the templates here? We will write flower brackets and we will write the name of the template here. So whatever the name we are giving, it is like a just a name or a variable, or we can call a method also. So here what is we have written? Two things we have written. So what is that means? We can use the variables or we can call the methods inside the templates. Okay, we can use the variables or we can call the methods inside the template. Okay, so the next point is clear. The third point what we want to do is, whenever we are loading some forms, okay, whenever we are loading some forms, we want to retain the data. Okay, we want to retain the data from TS file. How we will do it? Using the binding, using the binding. So for that binding, what we will use is, see, whatever the value we are doing, we are just adding it as a brackets, and right side we are giving some variable name. So what it is means, whatever the value it is there in this field, automatically it will be displaying here. Okay, automatically the value will be assigning here. So that's why whenever we are, even when we are reloading also, we are seeing the ABC, because this value is coming from TS file and it is editing, and even we can change it also, FD something XYZ, and all this information will be stored into that variable. Okay, all this information will be stored into that user information, right? Are you right now?
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
Okay, so like since for first time it seems like difficult, but if you are feeling any difficult in these three templates and event binding, like this event binding and this property binding, let me know in the Telegram also. I will try to explain by tomorrow. But like in the working day, it was difficult for me to answer your questions. But maybe by after evening, some 8 o'clock or something only, I can answer all your queries, or in the early morning, I can answer your queries. But if you are in the weekend, I can help you out. If you're facing any problems, you can just post it over there. We'll see it, right? And the next thing is, okay, so mainly whatever the project you are going to work, mostly what you will have is you will have a form handling. Okay, you will have a form handling, how to handle the forms. Okay, mostly what the web application they will maintain is they will maintain some user data and they will present in the web, and they want to get some input and they will do something else. That's why now we have seen how to handle the this form data, and we have seen how to present the data from using the templates also. We have seen it, right? We have seen this templates data also we have seen. The next thing is we want to write it. There are some concepts called directives. Okay, there are concepts called directives. I will just explain it here and we'll go there. Okay, the next thing is we have 5 customers in our database. Okay, how many customers we have? We have 5 customers in our database. So server is returning with 5 customers. We want to present them their names here. Like we want to present them names here in the bottom, and how we will write it in the Angular. That's what we will see now. For that one, what we will use, we will use a directive called structural directives. Okay, structural directives, and those are mainly we have 2 directives, and one is ng for, very important, and another is ng if. Without using these tags, I think most of in most all the places we will use these 2 directives. We will use uh, these 2 directives, ng for and ng if. So here f is capital and this is case sensitive. Make sure that you are typing f is capital, and in the ngf it is we are giving f is a I is a capital. So we will see what is this now. Let me go here. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to do is we want to have 5 customers in our server. Okay, so I am maintaining 5 customer names. Okay, customers is equal to, I want to maintain 5 customers, right? I will say ABC something. Okay, so just think like these are our 4 customer names we are getting from the server. And we want to display in the UI. Okay, these 4 customers, and already you will say, sir, already we know the template binding, so that we can use the template binding for our purpose, and we will display using the templates, right? So we can say just use customers. So what is our tag name? Customers, right? So I'm just using the customers in the template binding. So already you know the template binding. We'll save it. Let us see what is happening in the template binding. And whenever we are trying to see what is happening, it is trying to print the all the names into one line. Correct, right? It is trying to print all the lines into one line. But we don't want to do like that. We want to either we want a table, just name and the value, something like that. So how will you do that? I'm just okay. For table, I'm just taking example bootstrap table. So why I'm doing is, even I can write it myself just for time purpose. Okay, I'm just copying it here, and let me, we'll change the content, everything, but only what I'm going to do is I'm going to use only the table name alone. So we will use the name. Let me save it and show you how it is, how it looks like. Okay, see, we are going to use a table, that is just a, instead of first we will use a name of our customer, and we will display what is the index, and table we want is call -6. Okay, so this is our table, and in our table, let me give some space to the top. M-T for 4. So M means margin, T for top, -4 means I want to give 16 pixel in the top. So that's why it will the table will come to the bottom. And if you want to give some at left side, you can give M-L-4 margin left 4. That is this one. So the table will come in the right side. See, here we have in the table, we are ready with the table and we are displaying name as a mark. But this is not our real content, right? We want to present our real content from our server. So what is our real names? ABC, RAM, SAM, and test. These things we want to display here. So how we will display in the here in the form. So that's where we will use star ng for. Okay, star ng for is equal to. So where our customers data is there, customers, right? Okay, what we want to write is let customer of customers. Okay, this is very important. Here this syntax is very simple, but you need to understand first here. So ng for is a directive. Here we are giving the whatever we are giving the right side, right? The customers is nothing but from where we are going to get the data. That is the this information. And what is this let of customer means? We want to get the first customer and store. We want to display that information here. So what we will do is, you know how to template, right? So what I'm doing is I'm writing like this. So what we are doing, I'm getting the first customer data and storing into this variable and printing here. Again, I will go here. I will get the second customer data and get that customer and I will print it here. Again, I will go here and get the third one until how many it is there. We will display those many. And let me save it and see whether the right. We have ABC, RAM, SHAM, and test also it is there. Okay, all four is there. All four is there, and we can see those four inside here. Okay, all four information is there, but only problem what we are saying is this number is increasing? No. Why this is number is not increasing? Because if you go to HTML, you see what we are doing is always we are printing 1. So what it will happen? What it will print? Always for all the customers it will print only 1, right? So instead of that, if you want to get the index of this customer and we can print it. For that one, what we need to do is just add a semicolon, let I is equal to index. Okay, let I is equal to index. So what is happening is if we are receiving first customer, it will print the first customer. Okay, so we are trying to use another variable called I. Okay, and this name you no need to give only I. It can be any name. It can be any name, but index should be index only because it is we are storing the value from the index. So I'm just giving I here and type I here and let us see what is happening. So the customers you can see the below customers are there under the diamond plan. Think like this, and the name of customers ABC, RAM, Sham, Test. All these are customers, and if you see the index, it starts from 0, but our normal our number starts from 1. So whenever you are trying to give some index and printing it to here, try to add 1 plus 1. So what is happening is now my index will be 0, but my number will be 1. My index will be 1, but my number here, whatever I am displaying, it will be 2. So these things you can handle it. So what is this tag we are using for? Which tag we are using it? Ng for. Okay, I will explain it again because without this ng for and ng leaf, no project will be there. This much is very important. Again, I'm explaining here. Please, okay. So ng for is a directive. Okay, ng for is a directive, and how Angular identifies it is a directive. That is the next question they will ask you in the interview. How ng for is a directive and how Angular is identifying it means there is we are putting a star. Okay, we are putting a star before the this ng for. That means it is a directive. We are putting a star, but for other variables we are not putting anywhere star here, right? We are using just Angular brackets or templates. This templates we are using it, but we are not adding any star. Only star comes for directives. Okay, this directive ng for is a directive. We are identifying that using the star, right? Okay, so always you need to remember whenever you are writing some code, sometimes what will happen is people will write like this without star. Sir, I have written the code, but my code is not working. So don't think you have to write it as a star ng for. Okay, so then only Angular will identify this is a directive and they can use it, right? And next thing is this whatever we are writing in the this double quotes, right? This is very important. I am explaining again. So what it is means is So this customers can be anything. Okay, this customers can be anything. Whatever the variable name you have in TS file, same thing you need to use here. Okay, whatever the variable name it is there in the TS file, you need to use in the here. Okay, suppose in my TS file I have, instead of customers I have some members. Okay, I have members. So what is the name I should use? What is the name I should use? I should use members, not the customers. Okay, this name can be anything, but what is the main concept is this should be an array. This should be an array, and whatever the name you are trying to load it, you should use that variable. And what is this let customer of means? So we want to retrieve first variable. If you go to here and okay, here, and I want to, if I have 10 variables here, suppose I have 10, first, second, third, right? So this is my HTML page. This is my HTML page. What will happen is, so first variable it will be reading from here and it will print. Then what will happen? Again, the first variable second variable will be reading from here. Second variable will be reading from here. Third time what will happen? Third variable will be reading from here. And fourth time what will happen? Fourth time reading from here. So in the ng for what will happen? Automatically first it will retrieve the first customer and it will store into the customer. And once we are printing with that, again it will go to the second customer and the second customer value will placing into the customer. So what is if you go to the HTML, so first it will print this one, again it will go for the ng for loop. Okay, ng for loop here, and it will get the second name, and again it will print in the RAM. Again it will go to the for loop and it will get the value of third one and it will print in the third. So it will keep on going. And if you want to print some indexes, so what is the next thing you need to write it? It is a let I is equal to index. Let I is equal to index. This is optional. Okay, this is optional. It is not a mandatory. If you are not giving this index, what is happening is for always you will print with the either 0 or 1, but that is not we want, right? We want to print the how many customers we want and we want to see the results. Do you think we will use it this approach it or not? In any project they will try to use the what is the number, like they will maintain some numbers and how the numbers will be printing using the this index approach. Okay, let I is equal to index. Okay, index should be there. I can be anything. I can give j or x or number. Okay, anything I can give, but what is the main thing important here is the right side is important. Always it should be index only. Always it should be index only. So this is our variable and this customer also our variable. These two variables whatever we want we can give it. For namesake, since I am iterating the customers, so from the customer it will be a first customer, from the numbers it will be like a first number. So that's why I'm giving some meaningful name. So if you want to print the numbers, you give the index. If you don't want to print any number, you no need to iterate, you no need to write this line. Okay, suppose in our HTML we don't want to display this first column, then do we need to add that index? No, not at all required. So the next thing is we have seen how to use the ng for, right? How to use the ng for. So we have seen this one, and what we need to is we want to suppose here what is happening is whenever okay, we want to print. Okay, this name members are there, right? This I want to print the name whose name is not test, but the remaining names I should print it. Okay, the condition here is I don't want to print any name with the test, but I want to print the other members. So how I can do it? Using the ng if condition. Okay, how I can use the ng if condition. So what I need to do is I need to go here and if the customer, okay, star ng if, okay, ng if is equal to, okay, I need to write in the single quotes for a direct variable not equal to customer, not equal to customer. Okay, what this line is trying to do is if my name is not equal to test only, print it, otherwise don't print it. That's why this line. Let us see what is happening. So See, we have ABC, Ram, Sham, but test variable is not at all printing, right? It is not printing in the bottom. So how we are avoiding it? How we are avoiding using the ng if condition. Okay, ng if condition can be used many ways. Okay, so in ng if always this this bracket, it should be either true or false. If it is a true, it will print it. If it is a false, it will not print it. Okay, it will not print it. Suppose what is the other requirement you want to have is, okay, and let me print every name. But okay, I have some 1,000 customers. Okay, how many customers I have? I have 1,000 customers. I want to print only first 5 customers. Okay, think like that. NGF1 container. Okay, you don't need to think NGF1 customer. Okay. Div. And there is a restriction called we cannot add ng for and ng if in a single tag. Okay, ng for and ng if for a single tag. I want to add an example. Num should be greater than 1. Okay, here what I'm trying to do is I want to add single like for a single tag I want to add 2 directives. One is for directive and another is ngif. So whenever you are trying to do that, it will give a compile time and it will not work because 2 directives cannot work with a single one. So because of just for this reason, what we want to have is we want to have a another tag which will do nothing. So I'm using a ng container. Okay, this ng container is nothing but it will not have anything, only for our conditional purpose we are using it. Okay, and I will write ng if. Okay, ng if. So what we want to do is I want to print only first 2 customers. Okay, I want to print only first 2 customers. How I can print? Ng if should be less than 2. Okay, ng if should be less than 2. Let us see what is happening. How many customers it will print? See how many customers it will print? Only 2. Why only 2 customers are getting? We have a condition explicitly saying only first 2 customers should be printing. That's why. So here using the ng for and ng if conditions, you can control anything in the here. Okay, using a ng for anything, you can control anything. So till the point, are you guys clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have a ng model. How to fix that? We'll fix it, and we need to have the another concept called. So we are completed with these directives, and there is a another called ng class. I will tell you, and Angular routing I need to explain those things. I will just write it. Okay, and what we'll try to do is we'll try to use some different styling now, right? I want to, okay, for first one I want to use some color. For second row I want to use some second color. Okay, right? Here what I want to do is I want to go with the some table colors. Let me go to my class, and I think all of you know the Bootstrap, right? I want to give class text hyphen primary. Okay, let me save and show you how it look like. So what is happening? All the table rows are coming with the blue color. Okay, all the table colors are coming in the blue color, but I don't want like that. How I want is for first row I want blue color, for second row I want a green color. Okay, but here we don't have any hard coded HTML, right? All we have is a single tr tag which will like a table row, and we are iterating over the customers. In such a cases, what you need to do is you need to write a explicit a tag called ng class. Okay, ng class, ng class. Okay, for this one we can use a ng class. We can bind our classes using the ng class. Here is equal to Okay, we can give any class name so that it will work fine here, and but we need to have a class name, right? So what I will do is if num is double equal to 0, okay, I want to give a color called text primary. Okay, so if my number is like index is 0, I want to give primary. If number is 2, I want to give something else. So let me write it here and let us. So what we are trying to do is text primary. Okay, so what we are trying to do is if it's the first row, I want to show in the blue color. If the for other rows, I don't want to show any other color. Or we can implement the for second rows some other color we can implement it. See, right, for first row we are showing in the blue color, and if you want to see some backgrounds, and we can go and select the some other background also. But the idea is you can use the ng class. Okay, ng class is you can use like this, and there is a flower bracket and you can keep it. So in the after colon, that is nothing but your condition. Like what is the condition you are going to use? It should be always true. Okay, always true. If I want a blue color for second row, what I can do, I can just put here, I can give comma and type other things. Okay, comma. So I want to give what is the secondary color in the, I want to give danger in the danger if it is a greater than 0. For all other rows, I want to give a danger color. So let us see how colors are getting presented in the UI. See, right, for first one we are showing in the blue, for second one and third one we are showing in the red. So this all color combinations will be used, which tag we will be using, which this one ng class. So ng class also very much important. Almost most of the places we will use this ng class for styling, and ng for iterating of the customers, and ng if for to limit the customers. We will use these three concepts in our project very much extensively, so that uh, just be learn ng for and ng if and ng classes. These three things are very important. Okay, now our first thing is we want to use ng. Is this fine, guys? Now we will go with the ng model. Why the problem, and we will solve it. And there is a concept called ng routing. So that routing concept I just need to explain it. But for now, I think we can go with the other things. So we want to solve our ng model problem. So we are going into our ng model problem. Let us go to our plans, and why our ng model is not working, we will see. Ng model. Okay, just give this name, and what will this, we will remove other things. Whenever we are using ng model, we no need to give this value and this thing username. Okay, and let me print the username in the bottom so that we can see what is the real value we are printing it. It is just with the problem with the imports only. There is nothing problem. See, the default value itself, it is not coming here. So that means our ng model is not at all working. Whenever if it's a default model is working, what should happen is here we should have a value for that one. And let me give some value. Name is equal to username. Let us see if it works. Okay. Okay, whenever you are using here, let me remove this and let me remove all the clutter content. There is nothing required for us. Okay. So here guys, what we are trying to do is we are trying to simply use the ng model alone. We are removed everything like the method, event binding, everything we removed. We are just using the ng model only. So ng model, using the ng model, we are trying to print the values. So ng model is very simple. Just you need to use angular brackets inside this brackets. So what it is mean is either if you have the value in TS file, it will display here. Either if you're typing something here, it will display in the TS file. That is why it is a two-way binding, and we want to print our username and passwords here. Let me type my password also. So what is my password property? And the main part here is when you are using ng model, give the name password. So for each field, give different name. Don't give for all the fields, don't give single name. So for each field, give the different names here. So let me type ABCD. See, automatically whatever I'm typing it is working here or not. It is right. It is working here. I want to type my password. See, whatever the password I'm typing here, it is changing it here or not, right? It is changing. And if I'm just reloading it, so what will happen? Automatically my default value I'm fetching and displaying here. So using the ng value like a ng model, it will solve all your other problems. You don't need to handle like for key event, key type and all those things. It is not at all required. Just ng model is equal to this name, and try to make sure that you are using a name property whenever you are using a ng model. That is the main concept. So here we have missed this one. So what is happening is try to see what is happening, and see for initial there is nothing where it is the value is not at all getting displayed. That's why what we have tried to do is we are trying to use the name property along with the ng model. So the value whatever we are typing, even it is two-way binding. Even if the value is there in the TS file, it is displaying. Even if I am typing here, it is displaying in the bottom. So this is how you should use, and make sure that, and I'm always again I'm saying whenever you are using ng model, you need to import the, let me go to the app component. Let me go. Okay, you need to import these two modules. Okay, forms module and reactive forms module. These two modules you need to import. Okay, you need to import here in the app module component, and just restart the project. Don't like I just added here and reloading here and it's not working means don't do that. Just stop your project and start it. It will work fine. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So with this, your ng model problem also solves. So whenever if you have created the new project, so don't worry, you just try to add these two things. And another important point is whenever you are creating a new project from the Bootstrap, and if you have in the drop down, and when you are clicking it, sometimes it will not work for you. Okay, let me see. For me, it is working fine, but when you are starting a new project, sometimes it will not work for you. What you need to do is go to your index.html and add these 3 lines of piece of code. Okay, I'm just removing it and let me show you whether my dropdown is working or not. See, even if I'm clicking also my dropdown is not at all coming. Okay, even for my click also dropdown is coming, not coming. So what you need to do is you need to add these 3 lines of code to your index.html. And you can ask, sir, where I can find these 3 lines, right? Just go to this Bootstrap home. Okay, getting started, and here itself, uh, okay, here itself you can see see these 3 links. Okay, see, if you want to decide with separate solutions, you need to add this popper.json, and these 3 JSONs we need to add it into our code. So you can find it in the getting started guide itself. Okay, you can find it in the getting started guide itself. So only these three things, jQuery and Popper.js, and these three JSs we need to import in the HTML. And I'm telling you will do only once in a lifetime. You will not do it daily. Only whoever created first time the project, right? They will done this all these things. And since you are going to write a new project, I'm just explaining why you need to use these things. And like whatever the projects you are going to, if you are going to select for any company, and the project will not be start from scratch with you, already there will be senior people who will create all the project structure and everything. Your duty is like what, however we are giving requirements, right? So what they in office, what they will try to do is document something like this and with some other details. And what we have to do is we have to implement. So our, like suppose my team manager is there, and he will give a document to me and saying I have to implement this requirement. So my duty is I have to implement this requirement in the HTML. Like I have to define a component, I need to write a logic to this, and I just need to implement it. That's all. Already the projects will be there in the project. You just need to create another component and use it. That's how you should do it in the real time. So you will not do it from the scratch. So all the things, environment variables, everything will be set by already a project. So you can just start working on it. But if you are starting from scratch, you can do this. That's all guys for my session.